Once upon a time, in a small village nestled deep in the snowy mountains, there lived a kind-hearted woman named Mrs. Claus. She was known for her magical cookies that had the power to bring joy and happiness to anyone who tasted them. Mrs. Claus had a secret recipe that she guarded with her life, and she would bake these cookies every year for the children of the village. One winter, as the holiday season approached, Mrs. Claus decided to embark on an adventure to spread the magic of her cookies beyond the village. She packed a bag full of freshly baked cookies and set off on her journey, determined to bring smiles to as many faces as possible. As she traveled through the snowy landscapes, Mrs. Claus encountered various challenges. She had to cross treacherous icy rivers, climb steep mountains, and face freezing temperatures. But her determination and the thought of the joy her cookies would bring kept her going. One day, while passing through a dense forest, Mrs. Claus stumbled upon a lost and lonely reindeer. The poor creature had strayed away from Santa's workshop and was unable to find its way back. Mrs. Claus, being the kind-hearted soul she was, decided to help the reindeer. Using her magical cookies, Mrs. Claus managed to communicate with the reindeer and understand its plight. She offered the reindeer a cookie, and as soon as it took a bite, a warm glow enveloped the creature. Suddenly, the reindeer's antlers began to sparkle, and it regained its strength and energy. With the reindeer's help, Mrs. Claus continued her adventure, spreading joy and happiness wherever she went. They visited orphanages, hospitals, and even remote villages, bringing smiles to the faces of children and adults alike. The magic of Mrs. Claus's cookies was undeniable, and people couldn't help but feel a sense of warmth and love when they tasted them. Word of Mrs. Claus's magical cookie spread far and wide, and soon people from all over the world began to seek her out. They wanted to taste the cookies that could bring such happiness. Mrs. Claus, overwhelmed by the demand, decided to open a small bakery in her village, where she could bake her cookies and share them with everyone. The bakery became a popular destination, and people would travel from far and wide to taste Mrs. Claus's magical cookies. The village flourished, and the joy and happiness that the cookies brought became a symbol of hope and love. As the years went by, Mrs. Claus continued to bake her magical cookies, spreading joy and happiness to all who tasted them. Her adventure had turned into a lifelong mission, and she was grateful for the opportunity to make a difference in the world. And so, the legend of Mrs. Claus and her magical cookies lived on, reminding people that a little bit of magic and kindness can go a long way in brightening someone's day.